done anything, haven't hurt anybody, haven't taken anything. Why can't they leave me alone? Free country.
You've been living with Mr. Sugden, haven't you?
I gave it to him to give back. He gave it to the police for me. That girl got her watch back. No, she didn't. No, he told me, Mr. Sugden, he said that she wasn't there, this girl. I don't know, it had nothing to do with me. All I did was find the watch, that's all I did, just find the watch.
Didn't you want to give it to the police yourself?
They do things. Yes, I know. Things get done.
Oh? What kind of things?
They're out there looking. They want me. So, I'll come to you. See? I've got this.
Can I see?
I've always had this, always.
You're a Christian, are you?
There's no saying. Is there? You've got to be careful. I've got this. That means you've got to have. That's right.
That's right. But I can't always help you in the way you think I should.
Yeah.
Did you trust Mr. Sugden?
Didn't send me off, did he? That's what they do. All of them send you away. Get up, don't want you. But you can't. I've got this.
Would you like to come with me in the car now and see Mr. Sugden?
With them out there looking for me?
All they want to do is find out if you can help them to find what happened to Sharon Crossway.
Never seen it. No, I don't know her. I don't.
Oh, you've done grandly. You've got the making.
Where you been all day?
Ah, with Illy, matter of fact. He's grooming dog he's got for next show at Otton.
Thought you had words with him.
Oh, my age, you don't hold quarrels for long. There we are, Bess. Just a half, Amos.
Oh, Peggy, all right, is she?
Well, not too bad.
Hey, what's the matter with her?
They took her into hospital today for observation.
Hospital?
As far as I can gather, it's just blood pressure. Got to keep her rested, that's all.
Still hospital. How's Matt taking it?
Who likes wife being in hospital? Especially when she's expecting.
Good evening. Another 10 minutes yet.
That's all right, Mr. Braley. Other things on my mind tonight.
Thought you'd be out with Dave Ball looking for old trash.
Just what we're doing now. You won't get far. Right. Coming on, is she?
Oh, aye, she's willing at your Bess, eh?
Not out to arrest him, are you? Old trash.
Just routine. But they get scared, these old uns. Sight of a copper, they run a mile.
Still funny about Watch. I mean, if Sharon were leaving home, she'd not be going up by back of Gooselands, would she?
No saying who she was meeting where, is there?
They don't reckon trashed it out to young Sharon, do they?
A lot of gossip.
Oh, I don't know.
Stands to reason. She wouldn't pack clothes to go away with him. And if she had, and he'd done her a mischief, he wouldn't hang about place waiting for a chance to hand over that watch to us now, would he?
Hey, Sherlock Holmes.
Why you fellas out looking for him, then?
Girl's missing. Mother's worried. We've got to do something to put her mind at rest. We get a lot of it.
Aye, man runs away, he's got some tied.
More than likely, yeah. Petty thieving,
Oh,
probably.
it's not fair to say somebody's a thief, just because you don't like police.
That's true. There's a lot of that sort of feeling. I don't know why, but it's there. Still, he's been inside. I'm sure of it. I can smell one that's been inside a mile off.
I wouldn't have thought that. Oh, good evening, Mr. Welly.
Only just in time, sir.
What? Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
The fact is, I was just feeling in the mood for some company.
It has nothing to do with age. George is older than I am, quite a bit older, but marriages between older men and younger women often have more, not less, chance of success.
What about older women and younger men?
Well, that's a bit of an antediluvian outlook, isn't it?
I was asking for your opinion, not a critical assessment.
You've been busy wondering how old I am.
Do you expect me to deny it? As a matter of fact, I wasn't thinking that at all. I was thinking, well, wondering why you felt it necessary to bring your husband's age into the discussion at all.
I didn't. You did.
Pass.
You gave it as your opinion that Shakespeare was right. Crabbed age and youth cannot live together.
I was generalising about life, not marriage.
Marriage is what occupies most of people's lives. It's about the only subject that is never out of the news. Therefore, any discussion about youth and age must necessarily include marriage.
Good Lord. I think you're more than a bit defensive about your matrimonial state.
Aren't we all a bit defensive about our mistakes?
If it's of any interest, and I hope it is, it hadn't crossed my mind that you might be older than I am. Not for a minute. I'm pushing 30.
I pushed 35 last month.
Oh, it's nothing, and you don't look it.
Thank you.
I've always had a weakness for beautiful women.
And I always admire men who know their own weaknesses.
It's difficult, isn't it?
What?
Honour. It's not a word I'm very fond of. It's not fashionable. Rather surprised to hear myself using it. A bit like debased currency, nobody accepts it at its face value.
You have to tell me what value you put on it.
Don't laugh. You're married. I'm not an innocent, but I've never... Well, I've always avoided involvement with married women.
I'm divorcing George.
Have you told him?
Oh, yes, many times. My conscience is quite clear.
I don't believe in marriage, but... Well, I wouldn't want to ruin anyone else's.
My marriage was ruined long before we met.
I hate to say it, but... good. Have you got to go?
Dad, since Matt's having a fortnight off to do up Jameson's house, it'd be a help if you turn your hand to something, even if it's only feeding hens.
Well, if you'd asked me, I'd have done it.
Right, I'm asking, but next fortnight. And think on, I don't want to remind you. Matt gonna be all right there?
His only worry is whether we'll be all right without him.
We'll manage.
He's not sleeping at Jameson's, is he?
He'll be there, Dad.
Well, you said it. He's going to be all right there.
On his own. Working. There's a lot to do there.
Hey, I've not seen muckier place.
We don't want it like that here, do we?
Oh.
Is he looking at Henry Wilkes?
Aye. Dead quiet. Is he going to pay us a fee for keeping an eye on place?
He'd do the same for us.
He'd always lock there in. Scare anybody off.
Aye, and she would, wouldn't you, Bess, eh?
Still wish I were Henry Wilkes now. Out in Mediterranean. Must be something to have money.
Something to have work to do. Can't afford to hang about with Matt and Peggy missing.
All right, all right. I'm going to check over Cowshed. Then I'm off to see Frank Blakey for Matt. He wants to borrow a sledgehammer to knock out the old stove. But my bit is, when he knocks that out, the whole house will fall down.
Hey, oh, dear. Hey, he's taking it well.
What?
Extra work, I mean.
Aye, as a good lad is Joe. Be all I have left here when Matt and Peggy go. Oh, well.
Why, you've got a load there, haven't you?
I've got a puncture as well.
Have you front to back?
Front.
Well, let's have a look at it then.
There were a broken bottle down the way. I thought I'd missed it.
Ah, some people don't think, do they?
At least you don't get that with plastic ones.
Ah, well, that's not thinking either, only in a different way. Ah, there it is. It's a thorn. Can't blame that on anybody.
I thought I'd missed the glass.
Ah, you must have done. Soon have it to rights.
Is door open?
Ah, it's never locked.
Will be in future.
It's not worth pinching.
Will be in future.
Got a bit of a job on there, Frank.
Ah, you've come to help me out, have you?
Well, as a matter of fact, to ask you to help Matt out.
Oh, anything I can do. How's Peggy?
Oh, I saw her last night. Looks good and rested to me. Mind you, she's got her own private room, you know. Colour TV, the lot.
Jack pay for it, did he?
How do you know? Did he tell you?
Who else has got money? It's the kind of thing Jack could do.
You've got more faith in her than I have. All ready for next week, are you?
Can't wait. This for in box. Have you been hiding from postman?
Oh, I've been working. What were it Matt wanted?
Him and Peggy are taking over Jameson's old house, and, well, he wants to get it done by the time she gets out of hospital. You were wondering that, there's not wrong, I hope.
I've been given notice to quit. More or less, anyhow.
He's with the verger. He won't be a minute.
Oh, I'm not in a hurry.
Would you like a drink or something?
Oh, no, thanks.
Well, at least a chair.
Thank you. You know, you look no different now to when you used to come and visit us at school.
Well, I don't think I had any grey hairs then.
You haven't got any now, have you?
London did a lot for you, didn't it?
I wasn't flattering. I can't see any.
Even parsons' wives were allowed a little deceit in that department. How's our tramp friend?
Still smelling, I'm afraid. I can't persuade him to wash, bathe.
He was a little high. I really meant about the police.
Well, that's one of the things I came to find out. Mr. Ruskin was seeing them.
Oh. Well, I hope it'll be all right.
Oh, I've every faith in your husband.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Oh, Jack. Well, it's all arranged. P.C. Hallam will be round here at 3 o'clock, and if you can have trash here, then I can be present. It seems to be what he wants.
He seems to think there's some protective magic in the collar.
Oh, I hope he's right. They only want to ask him a few questions. He won't come to any harm.
Good, well, thanks for all your trouble.
Oh, well, don't go. I want to talk to you about another matter.
I'll leave you two together.
I suppose you know what I want to talk to you about.
Yes, I do. And I'd rather you didn't.
Oh, you think it's none of my business?
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, Jack. They're quite used to being battered about a bit. Oh, I suppose people would say it's none of my business that I'm poking my nose into an affair that doesn't concern me. But I don't quite see it in that light.
It's how the two people concerned see it that matters, surely.
Oh, come on, Jack. You see a child about to burn his fingers or put himself into some danger, then isn't it your duty to stop him?
Children are different propositions.
Oh, we're all children, Jack. Children of God.
That's an assertion I don't agree with.
No, I know you don't. But we're discussing why I'm interfering, and so it's my beliefs that count, isn't it?
Look, Vicar, I don't want to row with you. I don't...
Why shouldn't you row with me? Frightened I'll hit you? I'm not your modern parson, you know. Have strong beliefs, and they make demands. The modern way's easier, of course. Compromise always is. And it's very nice to be popular. But popularity has a price that I'm not willing to pay. The parson who doesn't speak out against the wrongs he witnesses is unworthy of his calling.
Right and wrong is a matter of opinion. particularly when it's a case of personal morality.
Oh, come on, Jack. I saw you in the arms of another man's wife.
He's a wife in name only. They're going to be divorced.
Yes, but while they're not, there's a chance of saving the marriage.
Laura doesn't want it saved.
No, but her husband does. He loves his wife. He's willing to make any sacrifice to preserve that marriage. Now, what justification have you got for making it more difficult for him? Do you want to marry Laura yourself?
I can't see any way around it. Terms at least give 3 months' notice either side.
But I thought you had an option to renew.
Oh, 3 months before the lease expires. In fact, they're giving me over 4 months. I can't think why they're being so generous.
But if you got an option to renew,
Well, the option includes renegotiation at least. They have a legal right to put rent up, and if I can't afford to pay, well, it's out of question. They're asking nearly 3 times what I'm paying at the moment. If I beat them down to double, I still couldn't pay. Business couldn't afford it.
Oh, any news?
Oh, I telephoned. Mr. Lawson wasn't available. Said I had to write for an appointment if I wanted to see him.
You want to get solicitor onto it. They can't chuck folks out of their homes nowadays.
Oh, it's not just a home, it's a business. That's the trouble.
Oh, Joe, that London fella's on telephone for your Jack. You want to talk to him?
Well, does he want to talk to me?
Well, I told him you were here.
Oh, well, set us up a pint and whatever they're having.
Same again, is it?
Aye.
Bad business, that. Just before the wedding, there ought to be a law against it.
Do you think it's worth getting a solicitor?
Can't do any harm, I suppose.
Don't worry, love. We'll think of something, you'll see.
I got telegram. I don't know. Well, I telephoned you and told you as promised, didn't I? I mean, I can't beat him over the head and make him, can I? He's bigger than me, and besides, Ma wouldn't like it. All right. I'll let him know. Promise.
Ma? Ma? Is anyone there? Where is everybody?
Working, of course.
But Ma's usually...
Oh, she's in Longacre helping Joe to put sheep into pens.
My?
Aye, with Peggy in hospital and Matt away doing up house against the coming out. It's all hands on deck.
Why didn't somebody tell me you short-handed?
Hey, lad, you're not famous for rushing to help, are you? But work's waiting if you want to do it.
Isn't Mr. Sugden here? Don't you answer questions.
Free country.
Do you know when he'll be back?
I've just been reading this book. He said I could read what I liked.
I can see you're going to be a mine of information. There's no need to feel guilty, you know. I was expecting Mr. Sugden to be here. He should have been expecting me. Wasn't he supposed to take you round to the vicar's at 3 o'clock?
I haven't done anything. I gave it to him, didn't I?
Yes. Yes, of course you did. But have you been to the vicar's yet?
I haven't seen anybody. I've been here. I've been with this book. He said that I could...
It's almost 3:45, and if you haven't been to the... Well, that won't be Mr. Sugden, will it? He'd hardly knock at his own front door. I suppose somebody'd better answer it. I suppose it'd better be me.
Oh, it finds you out, doesn't it? Bail all in. Hey, you're right soft for a young un. Ah, Bessie, hello. Come on then, go. Come on.
Well, there's a sight. British working man. Fancy a bit of walling for a change?
Give over, Joe.
I might wake him up a bit. It's when you stop it catches you.
I was a fool how did you start.
We're grateful for help just the same. Cup of tea will freshen you up.
I don't know how you keep it up. How long will Matt be off?
A fortnight. Are you going to come in every day?
If I can get up tomorrow, I will.
You can sleep here if you like.
No, thanks. But I would be grateful if Joe could come and collect me.
I'll knock you up at 6. Hey, have you telephoned that Wallace fella?
There's no hurry.
Well, he seemed to think there was. Asked me to hit you on head to remind you.
You stay for supper anyhow. We're having it early, so I can get to see Peggy at 7.
You fixed that private room for her, didn't you?
Who told you?
Couldn't be anybody else.
Dunno. What about old Wilkes?
Are you serious?
Or the vicar? Or even old Trashman? Oh, hell, I was supposed to be there at 3. Here, Joe, run me over to the mill, will you? And then
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on!
Well, what about my cup of tea?
Oh.
Joe?
All right, I'll run you over if you telephone Wallace.
Look, I don't... Oh, all right, come on.
Now, nobody is going to take you anywhere, Trash. You've nothing to be afraid of.
All I want you to do is just to tell me you found the watch by the river. That right?
Well, now you did, didn't you, Trash?
You were... It was there.
Was it just on top of the ground? Not in the mud or anything? Did you clean it? Polish it up at all?
I didn't touch her.
Who? Who didn't you touch?
It's a free country.
Perhaps we should take him to the spot where the watch was found.
No, I'm not going anywhere. You got no right... You got no right to put me anywhere. I'm not going.
Nobody is going to put you anywhere, Trash. You've got my word for that.
Has anyone put you anywhere before?
If you don't mind, Mrs. Verney.
Well, that seems to be what's frightening him.
I can't help my uniform. Here. This is the girl the watch belongs to. I just want you to tell me if you've seen her at all. Go on. Have you seen her? Now, come on. Out with it. Have you seen this girl? She's missing from home. Have you seen her?
You show him a photograph and he runs away. He was frightened. It doesn't mean any more than that.
You didn't see his face, sir. He knows that girl.
He's probably seen her about in the village.
I must ask you to let us know immediately he returns. If he does, we'll have to question him.
It seems to me, Constable, that he'll never answer any questions put to him by anybody in uniform. They frighten him.
I can't help that, sir. I've got my duty to do, and it's plain to see that man knows Sharon Crosswaite. He recognised her.
It doesn't follow he's done her any harm.
I'm not saying he has, but she's missing from home, and it's important we find out all we can. Don't forget to let us know if he returns. I dare say they'll put out a general call to pull him in.
I'm beginning to wish I'd never handed that watch in.
Well, it's got to be cleared up, Jack. And the constable's right. Trash certainly changed colour when he saw that photo. Wouldn't you agree?
He was frightened to start with, but it was the photo that finished him.
But it doesn't make sense. The only reason they suspected Trash in the first place was because he was spending money and Sharon had drawn money from a bank. But Trash had the money from me. Now he finds a watch, I hand it in for him at his request. Now, if he'd hurt Sharon, would he have done that?
They're not saying he's hurt her.
But the implications there, that's what frightened him.
The implication that was there before he saw the photo and he didn't run away.
That was the final straw. A man like Trash...
You seem to automatically blame the police. But they've got their duty to do. I sympathise with trash, of course, but there's always Sharon to consider and her family. Are the police to do nothing because his trash is frightened of uniforms?
Whether they're justified in frightening him, and they're not. Sharon packed her bag before she left home, and it must be obvious to even the meanest intelligence that old Trash isn't the sort of man a young girl is likely to elope with.
Was she eloping?
It seems to be generally agreed there was a boyfriend somewhere in the background.
Well, I think that's quite wrong. I knew Sharon very well. She was a keen churchgoer, took part in all church activities. I'm sure she had no boyfriend, no special boyfriend, that is. And if she hadn't, they'd eloped. Wouldn't he be missing too? Well, I've got a verger's meeting. I must go.
I'm sorry I missed you at the vicarage. I was working at the farm and I didn't notice the time.
Yes, that was a pity. If only because it would have saved all this bother. I want you to know, both of you, that you're in my prayers.
Now then, Bess, sit up and beg, like that. That's what you got to do. I got to teach you to sit up and beg.
The day she does as you tell her, I'll sit up and beg myself.
Oh, you daft apers. I'm just playing with her. You can't start training her properly till she's a month or two older. Her brain's got to grow.
Well, the only brain she's got is in her tail.
All right. Well, it won't stop her making more use of it than you are yours, anyway.
Well, you two done squabbling. I'm ready.
Right. We're going to pick up Matt?
We'll call in as we pass and see how he feels. You'll be all right, Dad?
Well, I can't see what harm I've come to. I've been in a house before, alone.
No need to be sarky. I've left things ready, in case you want tea.
Well, I never watched telly much. Oh, I'm glad that thing's gone. I might go down Woolpack. Well, aren't you interested?
I am. Leave door on latch. Don't forget.
What about Jack?
He'll go in his own way, in his own time. Bye, Dad.
Bye.
I bolted front door. Leave this as it is.
Oh, don't fuss, woman.
I don't want to be locked out. Come on, Joe.
Think on now. If burglars come, set pup on them.
I'll set her on you, you little... Oh, he's getting too cheeky, isn't he?
Of course, I'm not having my barmaid living in. Wouldn't do, would it? Got my good name to think of.
Oh, aye.
Course, when place is done and have other staff here, if I have other staff, that is, it might be different then.
Well, it depends.
What do you mean, depends? Depends on what?
Well, there's no saying, is there? I mean, give a dog a bad name.
You saying I've got a bad name?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that. Not with everybody, any road. I don't think too badly of you.
Oh, don't worry about what you think.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm a customer. All my family use this house.
Aye, here's one of them.
Evening, Grandad.
Who's she?
Your eyes going, it's Mrs. Verney.
Get on.
That makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
Oh, go on, it's obvious. He's flying high.
You know, that's what you've got a bad name for, Amos. Thinking worse. So don't grumble if people take chance to get their own back. Ah.
All right, then.
Well, I'll have a pint, Jack.
Joe not down?
No, he's gone with Annie to see Peggy.
And Matt?
Ah, he's slaving away at Jameson's. Oh, he's a worker, is that lad?
That's what husbands do for wives. And a large scotch and brandy, Amos.
Right.
Any news of Wilkes?
Eh? You've got a new lady friend, I see.
You don't miss much.
No, neither does he, only he doesn't keep it to himself.
I'll survive.
Aye, well, it were her I was thinking of.
Oh?
Aye. Ah, it's not to do with me, but she has got a reputation. Now, I'm not judging mine, Jack, but there's been talk. So, a word to wise, hmm?
You bought it off old Tommy Folks, didn't you?
Right, I bought lease off him when I bought business. Of course, as there's an option to renew, I thought I were all right.
And so you should be. No one's got right to increase rent that much.
Oh, they wouldn't ask if they hadn't. These firms usually know what they're up to.
It's being business premises. If it were just cottage, you'd have a chance.
Ah, it's quite obvious they want me out.
Certainly looks like it.
Nice wedding present, isn't it?
Well, don't give up hope. My husband has a lot of property around the village. I'm sure he'll find something for you if he can.
Some hopes. Frank's rubbed him up the wrong way.
Jenny?
Well, it wasn't very wise, was it? He wanted Frank to take on shoeing of his horses for the hunt, but Frank wouldn't do it because he don't hold with hunting.
Well, that's nice to know. I don't hold with it myself.
But it's daft! How come Frank's not shoeing horses, help foxes? Well, if you don't do it, someone else will. All Frank's doing is losing business.
Look, if I don't want business, I can't lose it.
No, but if Mr. Verney can get us a cottage or something, will you do it?
I think I'd better take you home.
You do see what I mean, don't you?
Oh, aye. Come on. Thanks for drink.
Oh, when's the wedding rehearsal with the vicar?
Oh, it's Monday, isn't it? 3 o'clock if you can manage it.
I'll be there. Night, Janie.
Night, Jack. Night, Mrs. Verney.
Good night.
Night.
Try not to worry. I'm sure something will turn up.
Oh, I hope so. Don't want to start married life without a roof over our heads.
Good night.
Bit of friction in the background there.
That's what marriage is about, isn't it?
It doesn't usually show till after the ceremony.
Oh, it's not easy for them. Do you really think your husband will be able to help?
Well, I can try.
Of course, I know you're not on the best of terms. Oh, speaking of that, the vicar gave me a little private chat about the morality of consorting with married ladies.
That doesn't surprise me after the way he found us.
He didn't like it.
That doesn't surprise me either, but vicars don't rule our lives, do they?
No. Is there really no chance of you making it up with George?
Not a hope in hell. Why?
Just my conscience. Come on, let's go.
Do you suppose he's taking her home? I don't know and I don't care, but when you get your barmaid, it's what folk will be asking about you. So, think on.
Is he all right?
Dead drunk. Now what do we do? You've had quite a night of it, haven't you? You want some coffee? Aspirin or something?
I...
You don't look too good.
It's nothing to do with me. With that fella.
What fella?
I didn't do anything. Kissing. Nothing to do with me. Free country.
Are you talking about Sharon? The girl whose photograph they showed you?
They're not going to get me back. I'm not going back. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything.
No, of course you did. Where did you see Sharon?
Yeah.
Who was she kissing?
Head hurting.
I'm not surprised.
They put me in this place for my head. I don't know. They don't like you. Don't want you. I've got feelings. I know what wrong is. I say, They can't touch me for that, yeah. You let me stay here. I've got nowhere to go. I'm not going back. I'm with my head. It's a free country. Ooh.
I think I'd better get you a doctor. Trash?
There's naught wrong with hunting. It's as natural for a dog to go after a fox as it is for a fox to go after chickens.
I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you how Frank Blakey feels about it.
Well, I'm not saying it's nice for fox, but it's not nice for chickens either, or whatever else fox eats.
Well, take it out to Frank. Or Jack, he's against it too.
Everything chases summit. Way it always has been, way it always will be.
There's a big difference, though, between killing for food and killing for fun.
Who's talking about fun? Foxes is pests. Any man with sheep or hens has tell you he's got no good word to say for foxes. It's a serious business.
All same, Grandad.
No, but it's no good arguing.
I thought you was having a lie-in.
That'll be the day. Is Matt up?
I am gone. He wanted to stay for milking, but I said I'd do it.
Oh, nay, Dad, you rest. I'll give you a hand.
Oh, aye, and what about breakfast? I'm not getting it, but I'd like to eat it at proper time.
What about Jack?
Ah, that's a question, that is.
You ought to go and fetch him, aren't you?
Oh, heck, I completely forgot.
Come in.
Mr. Sugden.
All done?
Nasty business. Not much of a fall, really. But he weren't a young man.
Did you find his proper name or anything?
Aye. Oh, do you mind?
Help yourself.
I've been up all night. Even a copper's feet give out now and then. Name of Ian McIntyre. Scottish, I suppose. That's if this is right. Could be, it's not his. Address in Berwick. A photo, a wife, a sister, too modern for a mother. The clothes, I mean. And that's all there was on him. Of a personal nature, anyway. What do you reckon he was doing by that window? It's not an easy one to fall out of, is it?
I think he jumped.
The doctor reckons he landed head first. There's no distance to turn over if you jumped out of there.
Well, he must have fallen.
I can't see anyone just falling out of here.
Oh, you think he committed suicide, that's it?
Oh, it's not for me to say. It's up to the coroner.
Before I left him, he was telling me about... Well, it was all a bit garbled, but the gist of it was he'd seen a girl being kissed by a boy. I think the girl was Sharon.
Did he say her name?
I don't see who else it could have been.
Was this one?
He said he saved her.
From what?
From the boy, I presume. I know, I'm late for milking.
What's been going on?
Old Trash fell out the window and killed himself.
What? Just now?
No, about 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh. Was it something to do with Sharon? Well, you said killed himself, didn't you?
Oh, I don't mean he committed suicide. Is there anything else you want of me?
Not for the moment. You won't be leaving the district before the inquest, will you, sir?
Won't be leaving the district at all. At least I've no plans to.
Right. I'll be on my way. Bye, Joe.
See you.
I should get some sleep, Mr. Sugden.
You've been up all night?
Not for enjoyment, either.
You better get some kip, then. I'll tell Ma.
Oh, Joe, was there any boy in the village like Sharon? I had his eye on her, but she didn't go for him.
Not that I know of. Why?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Liz? Hmm? Liz, dear. Read that. It's from Edie. You remember I wrote to him to see if he could shed any light on Sharon Crossway's disappearance. That's his answer.
I can't see that this explains anything.
The money.
I'm sorry, Edward. I don't see how this helps.
He said Sharon was going to give him £50 towards his Help the Aged fund. You know how keen he was on it.
But all this does is to tell you to persuade her not to, and quite right too. She can't possibly afford...
Liz, dear, Sharon drew £50 from the post office savings bank the day she disappeared.
Oh, yes.
What time is it?
It's 4 o'clock.
I've been asleep 10 hours.
I looked in on you earlier, but you were flat out, so I left you undisturbed. You've had quite a night.
Poor old Trash. Seems a funny place to find eternity. I used to sit in this room when I was a kid and dream. One thing I never dreamed of was death. Or growing old. Or for that matter, a life like Trash must have had. My dreams worked. I'm not so sure life does.
You can't stop yourself growing old.
His name was Ian McIntyre. Little boy, nice name. Call him Ian. And who's to know that one day he'll fall dead drunk in filth through a stranger's window and break his neck. Hans Brietman gave a party. Where is that party now?
He would have died sometime, somewhere. There's nothing anyone could have done about it.
I must put that to the vicar, see what he says.
You don't blame yourself, do you? Well, Jack, he was nothing to you. He was a stranger. Just an
A ship that passed in the night.
Yes, more or less.
I knew him longer than I've known you. Would you have expected me to feel some slight passing sorrow if it had been you?
Dead, you're past caring.
It's the living I'm talking about. I don't know what life or society or what you will did to Trash, but I know I hate it for it. He was a dirty, messy, stinking example of what men can do to men. And all I ever did was to tell him to get washed.
Could you have done anything more?
I could have kept my mouth shut.
And would his life have been better or happier if you had?
I was trying to make life better for me, not him. That's what sticks in my throat. What right did I have to demand of him that he'd make life more comfortable for me? He was pushed into this world by some braggart's unthinking creation to be moved on and trampled all over by his fellow humans. And when he holes up here like a frightened rabbit, all I can do is tell him his smell inconveniences me. Do you want to come to the Woolpack? I feel like getting drunk.
I'm going to London.
Oh. Tonight?
Yes, I'm driving down. I was leaving earlier, but you were asleep.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
Do you get to London at all?
Oh, you're not coming back.
Yes, I hope to be back in a week. Shall you be staying here?
Is your car outside?
Yes.
Come on, then.
You're going with me?
There's a man I've got to see there, and a trip away might do me more good than getting drunk. Shall we go?
Have you anywhere to stay?
As a matter of fact, I have. Have you?
Yes. But I don't have to go there.
Well, see what happens, shall we?